Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me here today on a brand new Cabral Concept. This is our Training Thursday edition of the show. And today we're going to be tackling the topic of why your testosterone may be too low. Now, this goes for both men and women. Women do produce less testosterone than men, but don't ever overlook that testosterone is important for both men and women. It leads to stronger drive, ambition, libido, muscle tone, cardiovascular health, and many other functions of the body. And if naturally produced, very little, if ever, could you have too high of testosterone. Now, in the case of PCOS, absolutely, that can be a case. I have many PCOS-based shows. I'm not going to go over that today. And you can find those at stephencabral.com/2456 because we will link up some of those PCOS shows. But you can also head on over to stephencabral.com/podcast and simply type in PCOS in the search box, and you'll be able to find shows on that topic. What I want to share with you here today, though, is why I think that too many people in their late 20s and definitely in 30s and 40s are too low in testosterone and what those reasons might be. Because I see a lot of people in my practice now. Yes, I do at-home lab testing to look for testosterone levels in men and women. Now, women want to be somewhere between a 20 and a 30 or 35. Don't really want to be at a 40 or over, again, because that can signal PCOS-based symptoms and then all the different underlying root causes that come along with that. But for men, you know, when I just did an interview with the Mind Pump crew, we did a fun show. We did a stress, mood, and metabolism test. We looked at hormone levels. We looked at what it looks like when you're on testosterone replacement therapy, what it looks like naturally, what you should be regardless. And I just know that men before the age of 40 can absolutely be, when you're looking at free testosterone, you're looking on this at a saliva-based hormones test, should be 100 and above. You really should be. You absolutely should be. I'm over 40. I keep my testosterone levels well above 100 naturally, like with just the things that I'm talking about here today. And I think that anybody can do that. I don't think that I have any special genetics, like I was born with high testosterone levels, like nothing like that. And so I think that's important for many people. And then also, it's not like you hit this precipice and then fall off of a cliff at like 40 years old. No, it's a gradual decline for both men and women after the age of around 45 or 50. So there's not like an age that you hit. It's based on basically your biology, your level of health and balance within the body. But when you start to see yourself not recovering well from workouts, lots of inflammation, low mood, brain fog, low energy, low ambition, low libido, low drive, like all of the lows, what you want to do is run your testosterone levels or do the things that I'm going to talk about today to boost them naturally, all right? So we'll go over the ways to boost testosterone levels. If you want to lab test, you can simply go to stephencabral.com/labs, and then you'll just click on like view all labs and it will take you over there. You can literally run a lab that's the men's wellness test that looks at cortisol levels and testosterone and DHEA. You can run just the DHEA testosterone panel. You can run a single testosterone. So there's a lot of different ways to do it for both men and women can run this test because we have a women's wellness test. And the main lab that I want to talk about is called the Stress, Mood, and Metabolism Test. You can find that at stephencabral.com/hormones-test. And we can link that up today. So we'll do that at stephencabral.com/2456. But it's important to realize that you can run this lab with your naturopathic doctor or a qualified integrative health practitioner level 2. It gets sent to your house. pretty much anywhere in the world. Okay. So I just want you to understand that obviously you can run it with us, but you can run it with lots of other people. And I just want you to make sure that you have access to this, because then you can know once and for all, oh, yeah, I do have low T. And now here's what I can do about it naturally, right? So again, I just wanted to share that with you. So here we go. There are we're going to go through medical-based issues that can cause low testosterone. We're going to go through certain types of drugs that can cause low testosterone. And then we're going to go through the lifestyle factors that you may be currently embarking on that are not necessarily the healthiest. And then we're going to give you actual therapies that can boost those levels naturally. All right. So here are health-based issues that can absolutely be resolved for the most part, but can cause low T. When I say low T, I mean low testosterone. Autoimmune-based issues. Now, why would autoimmune issues cause low testosterone? Keep in mind, when you have an autoimmune issue, you have lots of inflammation, tons of inflammation. And that inflammation is going to lower testosterone as well. There's just no doubt about it. All right, chronic kidney issues, liver issues, lung issues, all can cause low testosterone. First of all of those are also based in inflammation. Many of those, though, are also, when you were looking at specifically the liver and even the kidney, is actually how testosterone can be processed and used in the body. So that's important to look at that. Really, really important. Heart failure or heart-based conditions is another one as well. When we look at that with lungs too, oxygen, your body's ability to produce the type of red blood cells, the type of hormones, and get the signals actually from what's called the hypothalamus to the pituitary gland. It's called the HPG axis. So hypothalamus, pituitary, gonadal axis. This is for both men and women. It's really important because although women are producing a lot of the testosterone from the adrenals and from a down process of DHEA, dihydroepiandrosterone, we're getting testosterone, and it can from the signals in our brain. Sex hormone binding globulin could be, an issue as well, which I'll talk about that a little bit more. But really, what we're talking about is not getting the proper signals to produce the amount of testosterone that we need based on other health issues. So again, if we remove the health issues, well, we can start to produce more of our own testosterone naturally. Anytime you get an infection or a virus, this can begin to shut down our sex hormone production, again, DHEA, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, sometimes in favor of cortisol. And cortisol, norepinephrine, these things can be used to fight viruses to a degree. They can be natural anti-inflammatories. They can help boost certain short-acting parts of our immune system. So never overlook stress and the viruses or bacterial infections that cause more stress on our body that actually start to lower testosterone levels. So keep in mind that if you have chronic stress, any chronic stress, even pain-based stress in the body, it can start to lower testosterone over time. Metabolic issues, especially those concerning type 2 diabetes and or obesity, without a doubt, can lower testosterone levels. So if you have dysregulation of blood sugar, you have higher levels of inflammation and imbalanced levels of insulin in your body, that can lower testosterone. All right. So besides, again, obviously, testicular cancer or any type of adrenal-based issues, those can lower testosterone too. Those are clearly a bit more serious in nature, and you need to work with your medical doctor on that specifically. Okay. Certain drugs that can lower testosterone. So when I'm doing the research for what drugs can lower testosterone, there is, of course, a big one with chemotherapy. So chemotherapy, though, if you're going through chemotherapy, this is not the time necessarily to be thinking about what can I do right now in order to increase my testosterone. It's more about what can I do in order to improve my outcome. Everything that I need to do in order to be able to beat cancer and whatever it is that the body is dealing with. So that's an important one. Another one is taking corticosteroid drugs. So a lot of people are taking these as anti-inflammatories. We have to be careful here. Even if they're used for asthma, if they're used for autoimmune issues, they're used for, massive amounts of inflammation, even during a viral-based issue. That in the short term, okay, they'll have a minor effect. In the long term, when these are used in the long term, they can absolutely have devastating effects on all of the sex hormones in the body. Opioids, painkillers, also can lower testosterone. Now, I'm going to put this more in the lifestyle category, but it is considered a drug, and that's alcohol. Alcohol, without a doubt, lowers testosterone levels. So I don't even want to mix words that some people say, oh, you can have a couple drinks a week, you can have this, you can have that. All of it lowers testosterone levels. It affects your liver. It can imbalance your blood sugar levels throughout the night. It can produce more stress hormones and lower testosterone. All right, so let's go over the lifestyle issues that I wrote up that I think have the biggest issue. The first one, believe it or not, is just a high inflammatory diet. So if you're eating a lot of processed food, yeah, you can kind of get away with it during teenage years and 20s. It eventually catches up with you. So the more processed food you eat, the more processed carbs, the more fried food, the more sugary food, the worse. Same with higher levels, again, like I said, of alcohol. The more alcohol you take in, lower those testosterone levels are. Poor sleep is a big one. If you are not getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, you're not going to have optimized testosterone. It's nearly impossible. You are not in enough of a recovery-based state to improve testosterone. This is one that a lot of people, again, I think overlook is sunlight. Sunlight and vitamin D are going to improve testosterone. So a lack thereof is going to lower testosterone. Vitamin D3 is absolutely needed. A lack of strength training. I think that if you're not getting in 2 to 3 weight workouts per week, and it can even be your own body weight, that you are not able to optimize your growth hormone levels and your testosterone levels, and I would say even over your overall your immune system, which means that over the years, because again, it's not just, excuse me, it's not just like I said, falling off a cliff. It's just a gradual decline. So get in those 2 to 3 strength training workouts per week. Too much stress, and that stress can come from gut stress, work stress, relationship stress, any type of stress, the stress of poor eating, the stress of alcohol, the stress of poor sleep. All these stressors wear down your body. They produce more stress hormones like glucocorticoids, aka cortisol, and lower testosterone. Remember, it's a balance. The more stress hormones you produce, the lower your testosterone, and vice versa. The last one is, again, a poor diet can lead to low nutrient intake, low B vitamins, low vitamin C, low zinc, and believe it or not, even boron, an essential mineral. I wouldn't say it's essential, but a trace mineral is needed in order to be essential for producing testosterone. So now what can we do naturally? And I've seen this so many times in my practice where we've been able to help both men and women. It's just more common in men that we're able to take them from like a 60 or 70 in terms of their testosterone levels, again, on a saliva test. This is free testosterone we're looking at. And we're able to bump that up to 90 or 100 plus. And this is even for men in their 50s and beyond. So these, again, are all natural things that will help pretty much everyone to improve their testosterone. The first and foremost is we want to improve your waist-hip ratio. This means the amount of body fat you are carrying around your middle. And again, this is especially true for men. So what we want to do is we want to lose body fat. We don't need to get six-pack abs. That's not necessarily it. You can if you want, but that's not the goal. The goal is to reduce adipose tissue size. So if we reduce adipose tissue, we reduce what? We reduce endogenous inflammation and estrogen production. And thus, we're allowed to produce and keep more testosterone without as much conversion to estrogen and inflammatory levels and cortisol as well. All right. So the next one is greatly reducing to 1 night a week or eliminating alcohol. I'll just keep it at that. I'll let you decide. All right. We are also looking at improving one's sleep and not just staying in bed for 8 hours, but actually getting 2 hours of REM sleep and 1.5 hours of deep sleep or more. I have a lot of podcasts on that. I'm going to link up my at least my 2 series on deep sleep, how to improve deep sleep and REM sleep. I'll link these up at stephencabral.com/2456. All right. The next one, and I would even say, let's look at overall stress. So we need to reduce stress. Now, there's lots of ways to do that. So, of course, you could do meditation. You could do things like binaural beats, and you could do going for a walk. It's like, what helps you to unwind? Like, that's the big thing, without it being alcohol. So that's what I like to share with people, is we want to be able to reduce stress. You can use certain herbs like ashwagandha, amino acid, L-theanine, phosphorylserine. All of those are great too. We use a product called Adrenal Soothe. I can't link that up, but of course you can just search Adrenal Soothe and you'd be able to find that as well. So that's up to you, but you want to get a good night's sleep and you want to be able to reduce stress. So lower those cortisol at night, get a good night's sleep. Workout. I talked about that previous, but that's the truth, is that we need a stimulus on the muscles that should be from strength training to improve testosterone levels and or growth hormone. All right. Avoid plastics and BPA as much as you can. This is a big one. Why do you want to avoid them? They're going to lower testosterone levels, and part of that is they're going to convert a greater amount of testosterone to estrogen. We don't want that in your body. All right. Another one is getting your vitamin C, your zinc, your vitamin D3, and your boron to help make testosterone. I mean, you need those vitamins and minerals in order to make testosterone. I would say B vitamins as well. We do something very simple in our practice. Daily nutritional support shake once a day, plus the daily testosterone support. Again, I can't link that up, but if you want to see exactly what we use for those calming herbs, as well as the testosterone boosting herbs and vitamins, you can just, they're at stevencabral.com/shop, and then just search daily nutritional support. And the other product is the daily testosterone support. Again, you don't have to purchase them through Equalife. Totally fine. But if you know what's in them, then you know what to look for in other products as well. All right. The next one is, in my opinion, eating two types of fats. Both are equally as important. Some gurus out there will tell you just need to eat as much saturated fat as possible. It's not true. Saturated fat, that foods that contain cholesterol in them as well, is a precursor to creating testosterone. There's no doubt about it. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have the greatest outcome in terms of health or testosterone, because it can create a lot of inflammation. So I do agree that you want some saturated fat in your diet. And we work with people, we actually tell them when they're lower in saturated fat, their cholesterol levels are very low, we'll add in some healthy saturated fats. No doubt about it. We talk about that. We might use coconut oil. We might use things like grass-fed meats or pastured meats, poultry. So we'll add those in the diet. Eggs, pastured eggs as well. But also you want the anti-inflammatory fats too, because the anti-inflammatory fats are very beneficial for decreasing one of the things that lowers testosterone. That's inflammation. So the three best are olive oil, avocados, and nuts like walnuts, almonds, macadamia. All right. And the last one I want to share with you is this. It is avoiding sugar and processed foods. When you put these foods into your body, again, we're talking about like flours, okay? When you put these things in your body, the pastries, the muffins, the cupcakes, the candies, like any types of these things like that, they lower your testosterone by increasing inflammation, potentially spiking your blood sugar levels, and imbalancing your overall hormones. And it takes hours, sometimes even a day, to be able to recover from that onslaught. So there isn't one more important than the other, but we need to work on our overall healthy lifestyle. And if we start to incorporate these, again, I've seen this in clinical practice, you're able to dramatically boost your testosterone levels naturally. All the links here today are at stevencabral.com/2456. Let me know if there's any questions. And of course, if this was helpful, do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stevencabral.com/resources.